Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome to the Shrewsbury Biscuits virtual market showplace, a show that we've been putting together for a few weeks now, designed to give local traders a bit of a boost and talk about businesses, show people what they do, because we're all about supporting local traders, right? I have a biscuit here with me today, and is the amazing, the beautiful Deedee. How's it going, Dee? You all right?
It's going good. How are you doing?
I'm all right. I'm really looking forward to this. This has been a few weeks in the making, really. This is the Darwin Festival live shows were kind of like a trial run for this.
Yeah, they were. Yeah,
and they went really well. They were very well received. So hopefully people enjoy this today. You know,
I know, and I'm in a different environment today because I got so much. In the last one we did, I got so much shade off Shane. So I'm now in a cluttery office, but you can see me, and I'm like you said, I'm not sitting on the floor.
Not sitting
next
on the
to
floor,
my server.
Yeah.
I know, yeah.
Yeah, properly planned today. Not D, we're going live in 10 minutes. Oh, what?
You say that, but I'm driving here in the rain with my hair all wet, going like, ah, but I'm good. It's going good.
I got to say, actually, just before, like half an hour before we did this, I received a parcel from Ed Curry, who created the Carolina Reaper chili. He's a good friend of ours for the USUC show. And he sent me 4 bottles of the hottest sauce on the planet. This is the Apollo Reaper sauce. And I thought I'd try some live on Facebook.
Does it say how hot it is? What is it called? Like the volume?
It's over 4 million Scovilles. Over 4 million. I thought I'd try some on Ritz just to be, all ballsy and that on a live show.
Did you have hair before you tried it?
I did, yeah. My head's that sweaty now that my hat won't stay on. So that's why I'm bald today. Just flexing the whole bald head thing. But anyway, look, we could chat all day, but we've got 2 great guests to bring you guys. We have first a friend we made that moved into our old studio in the parade. I said I would get her on again, and I kept my promise. It's Amy from LLama Flower Bar. How's it going? All right?
Hi. Hello.
Nice to see you.
Sorry,
nice to
I've
see
got you on my phone as well. I've turned that off. Yeah,
hey.
So all good.
Too much Alex is... I'm quite an indulgence, you see. Too much of me.
I'm wondering if the chili sauce blew your hat off, Alex. Is that what happened?
It won't stay on. It just falls off. Even with the headphones. And if I put my headphones over it takes the headphones with them. Yeah.
I'm surprised you're okay sitting there in that hoodie. I'd be feeling so warm.
Yeah, just chilling.
It's got the swag on.
I need to start dressing a bit more smart, I think, for the biscuit. Because I always say I dress far too casual for these sort of things. Now we're talking about businesses in Shrewsbury. I think I should probably start smartening up a bit. What do you reckon? Get some nice clothes in.
Well, where's your T-shirt?
Oh, I wore it yesterday.
Letting the side down.
I wore it yesterday. No, it was 2 days ago. I wore it and went shopping. That's the worst thing to do, right? Because, when you're out in the public, people see the Shrewsbury biscuit, you got to behave yourself. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you do. No shouting at old people saying "Get out the way" or anything like that.
All right. Our second guest is responsible for one of the many food revolutions that's going on in Shrewsbury right now. He is a great guy. He sent me cake a while ago when I ordered food from Liam Tinsley's Feast, and we are friends forever for that now. It's Mickey from Bake Shrewsbury. Thank you very much for joining us, Mickey.
Hi guys, thanks for having me.
Yeah, it's nice to meet you finally, properly.
Yeah.
You have sent me a box of goodies, which we'll get into later. They've been sitting here.
Yeah, man.
Thank you for sending me food.
That he hasn't shared with anyone else.
No.
No, I know. It's really unfair. Rude.
This is payback, D, for when I was on keto, and you'd be like, I just baked some fresh brownies. Here you go, gang.
That's so true. Yeah. I kept bringing so much in. He was like, I can't eat it. I'll just sit there looking at it. He's just there with this special syrup that goes in his black coffee.
Amazing. We'll get back to those days soon, I'm sure. When it's okay when it's relevant to look good outside, because at the moment we're all kind of in our caves. Okay, now we have I want to talk about your businesses. I want to give you guys an opportunity to talk about your business. Mickey, let's start with you.
Yep.
What is Bake? Introduce people to your business.
So we are a home delivery bakery service. So we haven't got a shop as such, but free delivery to SY1, 2 and 3 and those kind of weird SY5 bits that end up by the hospital. We from Tuesday to Saturday, and if we have any leftover Sunday, we do brownies every evening through Zoom Food. We do afternoon teas, we do butter buns, cinnamon rolls, Chelsea buns. and just looking at always trying to expand it. But I say I'm only one man in the kitchen, so there's only so much stuff I can put out at the same time.
One man that creates sexy looking food. I'm going to share a couple of pictures. We've got loads. I'm going to span these across the whole episode. We'll just take a look at some of these cakes. This brownie here, Cadbury's cream egg. Look at that. That looks amazing. Sorry, guys. I know it's after lunchtime. This one here. What's that one? Was that Biscoff?
Wow.
Yeah, Biscoff Blondie, that was.
Oh, wow.
Caramac.
Yeah, so that one's available tonight at the moment. My phone's just going off with people ordering at the minute. But yeah, that's in the box for this week.
And then there's your afternoon tea.
Yeah, so that's our afternoon tea for two.
What's the bit in the puff pastry? What was that one?
Sausage roll.
Oh, wow. So you've got the sweet and the
I-
savoury in there.
Yeah, so it's one of these things if it's just a nice little extra bit just to give it a little bit of savoury, considering there's so much sweet in there.
And did you say you're a one-man band in a way? Are you the only one in the kitchen?
But in the kitchen, yeah. So for delivery-wise, I have my partner and my mum helping with deliveries, alongside doing Zoom food in the evenings for the brownies as well.
That's a lot of work. I can imagine you do crazy hours in that kitchen.
Yeah,
crazy
I've
hours.
I've been in the kitchen since 4 this morning, and I'm still here now. And once I'm done here, I've got stuff going on.
It's crazy, right? We spoke to Marcus Bean on the show. He's not been released yet. Next week, this will be released. And I was saying to him, what do you have to do to become a superstar chef or a sort of food celebrity, or whether it's local or big or whatever? He says, I ask people questions, and what I say is, do you like a full-time salary? And they say yes. And do you like working normal hours? And say yes. So I'll give up all of that because essentially that's what you're going to do.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
But look what you've done. People are talking about your product.
Yeah.
I've seen so many positive posts about your product.
The reception's been really good, which like I say, I love the feedback that we get from customers because I don't go out on many deliveries. I don't get to see it much, so I get kind of fed back. So when we do get reviews on like Facebook and reviews on Zoom and stuff like that, it's really good for me to be able to see because, like I say, I'm hidden away in the kitchen for 12 hours a day. So when I get to see like people posting pictures of them enjoying it and things like that, it's always lovely to see.
Amazing. Right, she's been sat there quiet while we've been discussing cakes, salivating in the mouth.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I'm a cake girl.
Amy from LLama, thank you so much for coming on our show again,
Cool.
on the live arena as well, of course. Would you like to introduce people that haven't listened to that episode of The Biscuit? Shame on you if you haven't. Make sure you listen to it. About what is LLama's Flower Bar and what is your business about?
Okay, so I started off as a home-based florist and then moved into, like you said, your old studio. I am a florist, but I always like to have added a twist to it. So I worked within the language of flowers, which is the Victorians started it. So every flower has a meaning. And secret lovers would hand over bouquets that had messages sort of in the flowers. And that's kind of like the way I try to work. But lockdowns and lone parenting, I'm not a single parent. My husband works in Afghanistan. It just became impossible. But I'm very lucky. I have a passion for gardening. I love growing flowers. And so this year, this is what's happening with Madame Llama. Everything's changing slightly. Shrewsbury Town Centre doesn't have a garden shop. It's you have to go out. And the garden centres out of town are amazing, but they're big. They're quite impersonal. And at the parade, if you're in the parade anywhere and you've gone for a coffee or gone to any of the beautiful shops in there, then you can pop into the only garden shop in the Shrewsbury Town Centre when we can open again. I'm talking really fast, aren't I? Sorry.
No.
You're doing
really well.
So much to say. But basically, the one thing we can guarantee about this summer is nature's going to keep happening. We don't know anything else, but flowers are going to keep growing and nature is going to keep happening. And this year, I'm really passionate about encouraging people to grow their own. We need to stop importing flowers that have travelled thousands of miles And in order to keep those flowers fresh during their journey, the chemicals used is insane. And they're still popular. And I would like to say that I won't be using them again, but as a florist, it's really hard to keep up with people's needs when they want a particularly perfect white rose that is only grown in Kenya or, so, but my aim is by the end of the year to none of my flowers to have traveled from overseas at all. I want to grow them all. I want to encourage people to have their own cutting gardens. So that's something that I'm really pushing now on my Instagram is advice and seeds. And we're going to go through this journey together, sort of from muck to vase, really, or muck to bouquet. And that's what I'm really encouraging this year. Yeah.
So obviously these are going to be all seasonal based, aren't they?
Yes, they are. It is. I mean, gardening it's not just a 12-month journey. It is a long journey, but there are so many seeds that you can start planting within the next few weeks that will give you a whole summer. And then not only that, but annuals sort of have their own seeds. So you plant an annual seed, it grows, it flowers, it drops its seed, it then dies. But that's its life cycle. And then the seeds you get from there, you plant again next year and they keep going. Nature's amazing. Some of the seeds are so tiny and so ugly. And yet, in a few weeks, they're just going to be beautiful. And it's so good for your mental health. It's amazing. It's what's kept me going, without a doubt.
I just want to ask a bit about, because you mentioned about the bouquets and how they have their own messages in them.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are aware, like there are certain trees and certain flowers and everything that have meanings behind them. Can you kind of like tell us like a type of bouquet and what the story of it would be, like what it would be saying?
Oh gosh. Okay. So for Mother's Day, okay, let's go with a Mother's Day bouquet. So in that, you would have gerberas, because daisies, they symbolize innocent love. They symbolize pure love. They symbolize motherhood. You would match that with maybe a lisiantha, which means friendship. So just in 2 flowers, you've got friendship and motherly love just from those 2 flowers in a bouquet. You then would add some foliage like eucalyptus, and eucalyptus means protection and strength. So those 3 things in one bouquet mean everything that a mum means to you.
So a bouquet is more than just having it decorative on your kitchen side or anything like that. Have a massive meaning behind them.
Yeah,
Secret code.
Secret code, yes.
Yeah, and that's what the Victorians used it for. Secret codes. Yeah.
Is there a reason behind why Valentine's Day you give roses? Is that signify love, or is there more behind it?
Okay. Well, no, it is.
So I'm asking so many questions. I'm so interested now.
No question is silly, is it? So red roses mean traditional, deep love, but the amount of red roses that you give also is symbolic of how much your love is. And I can't remember right now. There is 12 red roses means passion. 1 red rose means true love. 1 white rose means pure love. And so it's huge. There are so many books and so much information out there.
So if someone who's just only had one red rose, Valentine's just gone, don't take offense by it, because it's got a massive meaning behind it.
It means through love, baby.
Yeah.
That 1 red rose symbolizes so much. And that's what I want to bring it back to.
That's why they have it in the mouth from the tango.
Absolutely.
Salsa.
Take the thorns out first, though.
Yeah, take the thorns out.
We've had a couple of nice comments in already. Marie Roberts says, I have had the pleasure of eating your brownies and also sent Amy's flowers to people, both fab businesses. Thank you very much, Marie, for that. Sarah Stevens says, Bake Shrewsbury is delicious. Well done, Mickey Evans and Lucy Stevens. And then Margaret as well. She says, "Well done, Mickey Evans and Lucy Stevens. Brilliant work and delicious cakes." There you go. See, coming in on live on the show that people really appreciating your business.
Mickey, I'm going to have to try some of your cakes.
Yeah, if you just send, I'll send you a box later on tonight.
He does do this. He does do this. Like,
that's amazing.
We got some to try in a bit. We'll get the segmentals out of the way, and then I'm going to eat some cake live on a show, which is always a great thing to do on a podcast.
It's a must do, yes.
I could do it with Grace though. I did it with Tat FB. Bought me in homemade Shrewsbury biscuits once with blackcurrant marshmallow in the middle. They were amazing because Tat FB is so talented. Yeah, so comment as well. We have Jess Williams. Hey, Amy. Hope you're okay. Shane Chebsey says, "Hey, Alex. How's it going?" Shane, how's it going? He says, "Those cakes will put me into a diabetic coma, unfortunately." Temptation. Right, let's get on to we segmented some questions just to sort of give you guys a chance to sort of discuss where the story of your business is. Dee, I think you're going to go first. We'll take it in turns doing these, and traditionally we'll go ladies first. So here is your question. This is your segment, Dee. Why?
So we'll go to Mickey first, shall we?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Why? That's why I thought Harry would go, because if you just okay. I'm interested. So why have you done Bake, especially in the business form of just doing it strictly online? Why that, and what made you do it?
So initially it was kind of a mental health thing. It was just the kind of thing of I was working in a phone store, absolutely hated it, because I kind of just set it up as a little bit of a side thing, just so every now and again would just knock something up and then put it up and things like that. And then because I originally trained to be a chef in college years ago, ended up leaving that, going off and doing different things, going kind of the long way about it. And then by doing the baking again, I kind of fell back in love with it. And then I ended up getting completely fed up working for a phone store, and I just quit and got a job at the Three Pigeons in Nestcliff, working in the kitchens there. And then again, I kept Bake going. It's just my own little side thing, just so I just enjoyed doing it as kind of my main side thing. And then until lockdown, the first lockdown, I was working at the kitchens in the Pigeons in Nestcliff. And then I kind of enjoyed my first couple of weeks off of lockdown. And then I just thought, I'm getting a bit fed up. So you know what, over the weekends, I'll put up a few bits, bring in a little bit of extra money while furlough's kicking on. And then it just kind of went bananas. So it ended up just going like whatever I was putting up was just selling. And then it just kept building and building and building until pretty much just 7 days a week, all day, every day, baking, basically.
I bet your feet are killing you. You have to wear compression socks and stuff.
I just collapse when I get home, just straight onto the sofa and just done. And so it ended up getting to the point where I got a call from Mike, the guy who runs the Pigeons, asking, when the first lockdown was ending, going, "Well, I see what you've been doing. Do you want to come back?" And I was like, "Well, no." So I was able, nice. I ended up earning, because it just got so popular that I was able to actually run it full time by myself. I ended up going to hiring out the kitchen at Draper's Hall for a while, which is good. It's creepy when you're there on your own from 4 a.m, but it's a nice kitchen to work out of. Until the point where I ended up actually, let's say, sharing a unit with Liam from Feast, because he was stocking our brownies for a while, and it was when I had to move out of Draper's, he just kind of said, "Well, what kind of space do you need?" Came and had a chat, and then I've been here ever since, sharing it with Liam, and it's just starting to pick up nicely now. We've gone up from doing like 5, 6, 7 boxes a night to doing about 20, 30 a night.
Wow.
Wow.
It's kind of, I started off by doing the brownies in just these little square tins about that big. Then ended up moving up to tins about that big, and now I'm using the big proper professional gastro trays of brownie.
So it's not like you've got, like, say you had 30 boxes going. It's not like it's all just like one big tray. These are loads of different components going in each of these boxes.
Yeah, so for the box, so for example, for the boxes that I've got to top and box after I'm done here, at the moment I've got 4 brownies, 4 gastro trays of brownie and 1 gastro tray of blondie in the fridge. So then I'll fully top all those, cut them all up, and then it's just one of each box boxed up there for it.
Oh wow,
So
that is amazing.
So it's like because I have to buy like the big commercial boxes of eggs and stuff like that. I get through basically per gastro of brownies. I get through about 60 eggs per brownie.
Well, through each batch, is that?
Yeah, and then because I don't use cocoa powder as well, I only use chocolate in the brownie. So because I find that you go through some brownies and things like that, and it just tastes like a cooked bar of cocoa powder as opposed to tasting like chocolate.
Was there a lot of taste testing involved?
Yeah, because I had one recipe that I was quite happy with for a while, and then I don't know if any of you have heard of Paul A. Young from the chocolatier from London.
Can't say that I have.
No.
Sorry.
Yeah, no. But I tried one of his brownies, and it was just so good that I was like, I just completely threw away the old recipe and went, right, that's the level I've got to be at. So this recipe will never get there. So I just completely binned it all off and then reworked the whole new recipe. I say there's been tweaks and changes up until that point, but I've got to the point now I've got a recipe I'm really happy with that scales up perfectly. So as far as I can go with it, this recipe can go with it so that it will stay the same from now on because people seem to love our brownies. So I'm glad I've got a recipe that works so I can scale up with it.
Right, I'm going to ask the same question to Amy. Obviously, you said before that you started at home, but why did it all start? Like, so much behind it. You were saying all about the meaning behind flowers, but why did you start this journey?
Oh gosh, I don't know. You start from a practical reason, don't you? That I wanted something because my husband was in the army for years, and so I followed him around. And it's very difficult to be anything but a mum and a wife when you're married to a soldier. And we settled here, and we're in the middle of the country. And I just realised that flowers are something that I'm good at. I love doing, and you've got to, like Mickey was saying, and you could hear how much he loves doing what he does. You've got to love doing what you're doing. And I remember years ago when I didn't have very much money, the one thing that I would treat myself to that lifted my entire house was a bunch of flowers. And they were cheap flowers from the supermarket, but they brightened up my house. And every week I would make sure that I had that little bit of money spare for flowers. And what I wanted when I started Madame Llama was everybody to get that feeling. I want everybody to be able to afford that little bit of brightness. So they are luxury flowers, but they're not necessarily luxury prices. And then the cutting garden, that came from the fact that I was raised in the middle of South Shropshire. I hadn't realised how lucky I was, because you never do when you're a kid, do you? But I just know how to grow flowers, and I didn't know that people didn't, because it just came so naturally, because as a child I would just be following my mum and dad around, just helping, and I had no idea that this was a talent. but it is. So passion, talent, wanting something that's mine, and wanting to share it a little bit. All of those reasons have made me, made Madame Llama, really. And now I want people to think gardening is cool. I'm not saying I'm cool, but I'm thinking that I might be able to make it cool.
Look at those gloves, though. Oh, wow.
Oh, those gloves are amazing. So that's a Mother's Day package that I've put together. They are, in fact, I've got them right here, not on purpose, but yeah, I love pretty things. I don't see why I should garden and look rubbish. I really love it.
Yeah.
And I figured I can't be the only one. And so I've got, a whole range of really beautiful I've got trowels that are really beautiful. I know that sounds silly. Can you have beautiful trowels? You can.
I think you can. You can. Yeah.
They're so pretty, and I love pretty things. So yeah, once I can get back into my shop, it will essentially be a gardening shop that sells flowers, and it will have this range of really pretty accessories. And for Mother's Day, you could give a present a bunch of flowers. Of course, give a bunch of flowers, but also you could give your mum the gift of gardening, because that's what we all did last lockdown, wasn't it? We gardened.
Yeah, and if we're going to be seeing like a little bit longer, I think we're all going to be back in our gardens again, aren't we?
I think so. So let's make them beautiful. And it's not just about us, though, is it? Because flowers are about bees and butterflies and bees. Everybody is knowing nowadays how important bumblebee is. And when you see a bumblebee climbing into your flower petals in your garden that you grew, and then they just wiggle their bums, and they're so happy collecting your pollen. That's my cutting garden. Yeah.
Beautiful.
And those are some amazing peonies that I grew last year. There's the bumblebee wiggling its bum. And
what's your favourite flower to grow? So I'm just looking at them then. You've got a lot of peonies, but what's your favourite?
Every day. That's like when somebody asks you your favourite song, and every day you can...
It changes. Yeah.
I love peonies, but the problem is peonies are like the avocado of the flower world. They're not ready, and all of a sudden they're done. They flower and the rain comes and knocks all your petals over. Sweet peas, I love sweet peas. They smell amazing. I'm so nostalgic about sweet peas. I love them. Dahlias, oh gosh, there's so many different varieties of dahlias, and they're incredible, and they're the flower that keeps giving. You cut one and then you go back and think you're done with your harvest, and I'd go back up to my field the next day and we just got loads more. There is nothing nicer than a wildflower meadow, and that's something that I also have. Part of my field is just wildflowers, and I literally just throw the wild seeds all over this patch, and there is nothing nicer than just sitting. Yeah, it's amazing. And in fact, this year what I'm doing is growing them, but having a sort of hard standing area in the middle, because lots of people wanted photo shoots in it last year, and it wasn't quite set up, so people were trampling over my flowers, or I was being really precious and telling them not to stand there, etc. So this year, there's going to be a big wildflower patch again, but it's going to have a hard standing thing in the middle, so people can come and have photos with children. Imagine your little toddler stood surrounded by wildflowers.
And we also all live in the town of flowers. Mm-hmm, we're known for our flowers, and obviously we have our massive flower show that happens. And last year it was obviously cancelled, but the year before, anyone who's a member, when you receive your members, they send you a little sachet of just wildflower seeds for you to put in your garden, trying to encourage people to spread these wildflowers. So they are beautiful things.
All for the bees, baby. All for the bees.
Absolutely. So I've done two things with wildflowers this time. So one was letters that you can have. They're like floral affirmations. So because we're all missing each other, aren't we? Mm-hmm. So you get a beautiful there it is. That's right. A poem, a packet of wildflower seeds with instructions on how to grow. And they're sealed in an envelope with a wax seal, just so that you feel really special when you get them.
So it's those little touches, isn't it, that make all the difference?
Yeah, they do. Yeah, make people feel really special. And kits to teach children and grown-up children how to make the little wildflower seed bombs. And they are so much fun to do. You just get little dishes of clay that you make, pop the seeds in, pop the compost in, turn them into a ball. And they're called seed bombs. I don't want children to be disappointed. They don't explode. But you throw them where you want them in the garden, and then the clay dissolves and the seeds just, burst out and grow. And all of these things are going to encourage the younger generation to start growing flowers, aren't they? And we're not going to kill off how. Yeah, that's what I'm doing it for.
It's important in a world where, well, we live in a town with every sort of patch of land they find at the moment they're building on. So it's important to make use of that spare land, those bits of those meadows, the Rebrook, your garden, wherever it is you are. If you can just,
It is important though to remember to make sure that the species you're throwing around are British, and that I do, because we don't really want too many foreign species of plants, because they don't grow here naturally for a reason.
it affects the ecosystem.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I've heard some funny stories about people finding some odd plants and flowers growing in their wild gardens that shouldn't be there, and they've had to remove them. And I think that's, it's not down to people being poorly educated on flowers, because wildflowers, there's so many of. I adore flowers, and I know like, you show me a flower and there's about a 10% chance I'll know what it's called. So I wouldn't know whether they belong here or not. But there's some amazing stories out there. These people that have done these wild flower gardens and have found these strange things that shouldn't really be there.
The thing is, that's a journey that I'm always learning. I go for a walk with I don't at the moment because my mum lives in Wales, but when I go for a walk with my mum, she's just like an encyclopedia of telling me. I mean, she's on a mission at the moment. I can't remember the name of the plant that grows along riverbeds. She's on a mission because it's not meant to be in this country and it's destroying our riverbeds. So that's why our riverbanks are falling apart.
It's like with Japanese knotweed. That is just like the plague.
It is a permanent learning journey, but it's so interesting. Really interesting.
It's like, I think people should learn in school, because over last lockdown I was driving along, there's this lady and she was obviously walking her dog with her small son, and they were collecting just some wild flowers to take home with them. It's just the middle of the countryside, and I was looking and I was driving along and I'm like, do I stop? Because they were cutting ragwort. And I was like, it has some beautiful white flowers on it, but I was like, that is not what you should be cutting. Stay away from it. No, I
agree. Even sort of an afternoon a term or something, get children learning in school what's really, really important. Because it is, isn't it?
As pretty as some of them are just as dangerous.
Yes, they really are dangerous. Yeah. And actually, I'm glad you said that, because maybe that might be one of my blogs that I do is about wildflowers. And actually, we shouldn't really be picking wildflowers too much.
No.
But they are pretty, aren't they? And if it helps a child learn and love them, then yeah.
Pretty like me. There you go. The next segment what I want to ask is very simply, when? What I mean by when is, when did that light bulb go ding for you? I remember the name, the first time I came up with the name for the Shrewsbury Biscuit. I was about to enter the EP from the interchange by Telford railway station. I was like, Shrewsbury Biscuit. Now I have to do a podcast. I came up with the name. I need to do it. Mickey, what was that? When was that moment for you with Bake? What was that moment that just inspired you, and you had to do it from that moment?
It was when I finally got when I finally cracked that first brownie recipe, because that's where I started from, was with all the brownies. It's still my main thing that I love. But it was when I finally nailed that first brownie recipe. Because it's kind of these ones of, I'd done it a few times, and it was just kind of like, it's all right, it's a decent home-cooked brownie. And the one time I was like, right, that I would have paid for. That's better than pretty much any I've ever had before. And then initially I was like, with the name as well, I literally just was kind of going through brownie puns in my head and stuff like that. And they all just ended up looking a bit naff when I was trying to work out a logo for them. And then it just kind of came to me because, well, if I call it something brownie related, I'm limited. But what am I doing? Just baking. So Bake. And I don't think I can get away with just calling it Bake. So I'm proud of being from Shrewsbury. So Bake Shrewsbury. Nice. And then just like that.
with your brownies, is it a secret recipe?
Yeah.
Is it one of these ones that you share with no one?
The if Liam would care to look at the whiteboard, he'd see it on there. But it's there's only one other person that knows. It's a friend of mine who sometimes comes in to help me in the kitchen. He's the only one who knows it like I know it. So it's one of those ones. There's a couple of things in there that I just could do.
Yeah, it's
I like
brilliant.
the secret recipe. Mm.
Yeah,
It's like I think everyone's tried making brownies at home. I don't think there's one person who hasn't tried making brownies at home, whether it's from scratch or from one of those pre-mixed ones, and it's never works out on your first try. I'm guessing you've had multiple tries where you've had ones you've put in the bin, ones you've kept on going.
Yeah, and luckily my missus loves them, so
it's like I've got a fixed one where it's like I can only eat brownies if they've been made with like you said, with proper chocolate or like a ganache or something like that. And I have some brownies that I have for my friends, and they're just, you can taste the difference when they're not made with real chocolate. Yeah,
because all you can taste is cocoa powder. Well, I don't know whether that's just from me going through it, but it's just like, it's just a specific thing. It's like there's nothing wrong with cocoa powder. I just don't think it works with brownies. They're supposed to be
when they're not with chocolate.
Yeah,
they go
it's just that kind of thing.
Has this ruined cake for you now? Because you like, it brings you a birthday cake. You're like, no, take it back. Take it back.
It's one of these things of it's one of these things of now with a brownie, I know what it should taste like, and I'll have like a little bit of it. I can't actually sit and eat a full one now because I've just been through so many.
Amazing. We'll extend the same question to Amy. When was that moment for you? That light bulb, bing? Can you remember?
No.
No.
I think it was because it's organic. I think it was probably something I was always going to do. So there was never really a light bulb moment. But I knew when things started getting too big for my sitting room, that's when the light bulb moment came that I had to find a shop. But I think I'm like, instead of a light bulb moment, I think I'm a set of fairy lights. I think they just keep coming on in little rows, actually. My light bulb moment for the garden shop and for the cutting garden was definitely... just before Christmas. I mean, I've had a cutting garden, but I don't really do politics very well because I'm not very knowledgeable. But when Brexit happened, and I'm really sorry about saying that word, the prices of flowers just rocketed.
Yes.
And that was my moment of thinking, we need to do something about this. And Britain is beautiful, so why can't we grow our own?
Brilliant. I love that. Yeah, that's fantastic because, why import flowers from abroad when we've got it on our doorstep? Yeah. Perfect.
Especially now with people using polytunnels. Like I know when I was at school 15 years ago, we had polytunnels, and if you didn't want, like I went to a boarding school. And instead of doing your homework in the boarding house, everyone was like not doing homework. So we used to make excuses and go down to the polytunnels and go and look after all the flowers. And we used to season ones. So like on the lead up to Christmas, we'd grow all the big like ones that are due to like, we'd decorate the school with at Christmas. And we even nicknamed ourselves Blooming Good. And
Deedee, I love that. That's very cool. But yeah, no, we can grow. We can grow an awful lot in Britain. We can. My polytunnel, unfortunately, has landed in the middle of a tree because poor Bella ate my... So this year, my husband sort of knows that he's doing this, but he's about to know if he's listening. I want to make more frames, so I don't really want a polytunnel because until I can afford one that costs thousands of pounds, it's always going to keep blowing away, and that's just a waste of money and environmental dumping. So yeah, I'm going to get him to make me some big frames that I will be able to use all year round that will have their own polytunnel system within these frames. And now he knows.
Get to it, boy. Get to it. Moving on to the next segment. I feel like we may have already covered some of this, but this is yours, Dee, and that's...
How
did we get to this point?
Yeah, so Mickey, starting with you, how did you get to where you are now? Obviously, it was a bit of a journey. Like, when did you start, and what have you accomplished to basically get to where you are now?
The how is my customers. As simple as that. I've got a lot of very, we're very loyal customers who just keep coming back time after time, and I say that give feedback and things like that. That's kind of how I've been able to go up from there, from people being consistent buyers. It really just makes the massive difference. That's kind of it, really. It's just I think
it's a bit like when you get your dentist, and even though you will not go to another dentist, you get loyal to that one dentist, and your hairdresser, you won't go to another hairdresser or barber. I'm guessing that's what your customers like to you. You're like, can't go anywhere else. I was like, this is our guy.
Yeah, it's like I saw a post on, I think it was for the Love of Shrewsbury, someone asking where to get brownies from. I just kind of, obviously it caught my attention, and but then I just see the comments flooded with people tagging us, and it's just amazing to see that. It's not even like we've gone out and gone, can you tag everyone to tell them about us? No, they've gone off on their own back to recommend us, which means the world to me.
Beautiful. Powers of tagging a business. There you go. Like, share, subscribe. You hear that all the time, but it actually means the world to people. You know?
It doesn't cost 100%. Anything to like, share, and subscribe at all. Yeah, no, exactly. Not at all. What about you, Amy? Same question. How?
I think I've probably answered that so many times. I talk too much, don't I? How? I think,
because I'm guessing you've got loyal customers as well, and obviously, yes, your passion massively.
I do. I've had to because I can't sell flowers at the moment. It's impossible. So I have lots of lovely loyal followers, but I've had to hand them over to other florists that aren't, homeschooling and etc. So that hurts a little bit. But I think now the way my business has changed and evolved, even since Christmas, I think the how is that I am so passionate and encouraging people that it's really, really easy to do this. And that's my how now, is that instead of just selling flowers, I'm teaching them that those tiny little seeds in the palm of my hands are what going to produce this beautiful amaranthus that drape down in an autumn bouquet. And I think actually my shop is a story. I really do think that when I share that journey from that ugly, gross looking little seed or dahlia tuber, and people want to go on that journey with me, and they want to join in the journey. And that's what's helping my business right now. Actually,
and your passion shows through and through, and people always say is the moment you start, because obviously people going to their 9 to 5 job is very, very stressful, but when you start working and doing something you enjoy, you'll work more hours and harder than you ever have done. Have you noticed that, especially when you're saying you're basically at home doing it, but then you've also got the shop and you're just continuous?
No, it is true, and I am lucky. I didn't have to go out and find a 9 to 5 job. So I am really lucky. And and life's too short to do something you don't love, isn't it? Mm. But I'm aware that sometimes we have to do things we don't love. But I think that is what keeps me going. And I couldn't work for anybody else. I love working for myself. I did work for Beth Heath at Shropshire Festivals, and actually she gave me the courage to do this. And she constantly messages me to tell me if she thinks something's going good, or she shares my links for me because I'm building my own website and I'm not very good at it. So Beth helps me a little bit on that. So having friends that really build you up and hold you up as well as build you up is a really essential tool.
The support you've got is astounding. I'm seeing it in the comments here. We've got Lynn here saying how great to see the lovely Madame Llama. Lily says, woo, Madame Llama's flower bar. Haley as well. Haley Chalmers says, Madame Llama, you look amazing. And this Emma as well says Madame Llama's flower bar. And then this one is brilliant. Anthony Tuitt, I'm doing what?
Yeah, no, this is true. Yeah, he did. I'm sure I must have mentioned it.
Good to work, Anthony.
Married to a comedian, Alex. That's the problem.
And likewise for Bake, Cheryl Walker in the comments says, "I love baked brownies." But I think that's it, though. I mean, you both covered that. I bet there's a moment almost every day where, I don't know, you pull out the perfect tray of brownies or cupcakes, Mickey, and you're like, I made that. I'm so, and the same with you, Amy. Is like you make a nice bouquet back in the day, and you're like, I'm so good at what I do. You know, that passion, the ability to do something well because you love it. That's really powerful. Really powerful.
You've got to remind yourself. I don't know about you, Mickey, but I have to remind myself sometimes of why I'm doing this, and I can make this work. And when you lose your confidence, you have to go back to that love, don't you? And remind yourself to do it because you love it.
Thing is, I've just got that kitchen confidence where you're just like, no, when I'm doing it, I'm the best. That's what you have to do.
I love that.
Because if I didn't, I would just give up. It's that thing of what I'm looking at is I'm looking to be the best. It's as simple as that.
Are you then your biggest critic as well?
Yeah. I'll give myself a hug.
What's that like?
But it's like, I say, because it's like I say, it's local now, but I'm looking at going further. Like I say, I'm looking at going postal, because it's like we get people that message from all over the country ordering for people in Shrewsbury, and then they get the feedback and they're going, I wish you delivered here because I keep getting this great feedback. So we're now in the process of trying to be able to start giving that to people elsewhere. It's crazy the places we get to. Like we've had over lockdowns, we've had people from all over the world messaging us for orders in Shrewsbury, like Germany, New Zealand, Australia, a lot from the US and Canada. It's just crazy where you're getting messages from.
That's brilliant.
That's beautiful. Moving on to the next segment, and I feel like we'll carry on with you, Amy, because you've already touched on it. But who is have you got a list of people or a person that inspires you the most? Who inspired you to go out and do this, Amy?
I've got so many people. Beth Heath, definitely, confidence grower. I mean, if she believes in you, you have to believe in yourself, because she's brilliant. Honestly, I know it sounds a bit twee, but I couldn't do this without my husband. Really believes in me, and when I'd stop believing in myself for a little while, he's there. He's fantastic. My kids are amazing. I mean, my daughters are a little bit older now, and they come up to the field and help me plant, etc. But then there's all the inspirations from people who do what you do. I trained with Jane Packer in London. I mean, she's sadly passed away, but her style is amazing. The luxury brand, that's what I wanted to bring in. Monty Don now. You know, he influences me every time I watch Gardener's World. So many, but I have to say it's my family that are the best. I don't know about you, Mickey, but our family have got to be behind us, haven't they, and believe in us, because without them, who would eat your brownies and taste them and tell you? It's a whole. There's no one, is there? There's not one person. It's a whole family of people that help you when you're setting up your own business. Nice.
Do you concur, Mickey?
I do. I say, for me, it's like my little man. I've got my little boy Oliver. He's what it's all for.
Oh,
yeah. At the end of the day, it's that thing of that's it. It's like no matter what, I've got to make it work, because otherwise, there's nothing for him. So that's it.
Nice. That's very straight to the point and very, very poignant. I like that. Dee, your next segment is a funny one. But do you understand what this means? What this is?
Go for it.
Beep. Yeah.
Is that something that nearly made you want to throw in the towel? I'm guessing that is. Am I right?
Yeah, moments where you've gone, do you know what? I don't want to do this anymore, but you got to get over those hurdles, haven't you? We'll start with Mickey. What were those moments like for you?
It was probably when I first went full time with this. And then, because during the first bit I was on furlough, so I was basically just making extra money with this. So then when it was all fully onto me, And there's just some times when just the flavors weren't hitting and I wasn't doing the right strategy or picking the right times to release things and things like that. And then sales were a bit low, and like it's like there's times when we was even struggling to get enough ingredients to do the orders for the next few days. And it's just times like that where you I just basically just stand, like, let's say I'm coming in at 4 a.m, where I'll just stand in the kitchen and go, is it worth it? But then you just got to go, no, because I struggle with OCD, where I get intrusive thoughts that repeat, so I can't let it happen. So it's like if I let myself latch onto that won't go away. So I just have to go, no, it's just got to work.
What about you, Amy?
There's always a few, right? I think in the middle of December, when I made over 700 reads in December, that was hot. I wasn't sleeping, and 300 of them were pure holly reads. And when it's 2 o'clock in the morning and you haven't slept yet, and you have no fingerprint, and you know that if I won the lottery that weekend, I would have just bought everybody a holly wreath that had ordered one and not made them. That I think when I take on too much work, those are my sweary moments. But I don't have that many. I did have a huge amount of houseplants arrive at my house from Holland that I couldn't cancel on the morning of January's lockdown because I didn't know it was happening. And when you've got £600 worth of houseplants and don't know what to do with them, that was a bit of a beep moment as well. But they all went. I did sort of doorstep deliveries. Thank goodness I had support of everybody. But yeah, no, that's it. Overwork and overtiredness sometimes.
I'm guessing for both of you that you've realised that you've got to have those low days and low moments to appreciate the good ones and those amazing moments. Like Mickey, like you were saying about reading through the comments that people leave and their reviews, how fantastic you are. It kind of makes like when you are feeling low, you're feeling like, you know what, doesn't matter anymore.
Well, yeah,
it's just like you all come back.
Yeah, it's like those times, like I said, where we're barely making enough to basically just pay the bills and then maybe scrape by half the ingredients to do the one thing, and then you'll just get a message from somebody going, oh yeah, so-and-so's recommended me, says they absolutely love the stuff, I want to place this order, and then that's going to actually cover you to be able to then do the next ones. That's one of those ones are just like, it's just like, it feels like it's actually working.
Ah, okay.
I was going to say, I think Mr. Whiteley's opened the box. What have you got in there, Whiteley?
I very quickly, that's why I was kind of being really rude then, took a picture, uploaded it, and this is what I've just opened on my desk right now. Oh. This is what Mickey sent me last night. Look at that. That's just fresh out the box. That's just as it is. Look how amazing that is. I don't know how I'm going to taste that live on the show. I need a spoon or a fork or something. Otherwise it's going to get really messy, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, that's the point, though.
No one can see when the camera's off and just go full hands.
We've lost Amy for a second. I think she's coming back in. But we'll start with you for this next bit, which is Eureka. That those moments, those moments where it's all kind of just the planets are aligned. Those Eureka moments. Have you got one for us that you can share where everything just seemed to work that one day and make it worth it?
I think it was when we first switched from having just certain brownies available in the pick and mix. It was doing these set boxes weekly, because we used to have so much wastage, because we'd do some flavors. If that flavor doesn't work, that's a tray gone, which especially during those times before where money was so tight and then you're having to throw away a full tray of brownie because it's just gone to waste. And it's one of these things as well of being able to keep my own motivation and creativity in it as well. So that was my main thing of being able to go, right, well, if I do a set box each week, I can go, I know what's in it. I can make sure that that's going to be 100%. And I'm not just trying to slapdash something together because someone's ordered this one that I put on that I haven't got the stuff for right now.
Yeah.
It's kind of a case of, I know I can get this ready. I can get this to be 100%. This is how it should be. That was one of the biggest changes, to mean that it's a lot less wastage. It's more realistic going forward to be a viable business.
It's like you both work in industries that have a lot of perishables, and they don't have a very long shelf life. It's not like during lockdown, you're like, oh, we'll just shut the door and it'll all be there when we come back. It doesn't work for either of you in that way. And I think that's where people do understand, like you were saying, having a lot of waste. I know when I was doing baking for my friends, I'd suddenly be like, oh yeah, well, we don't need it anymore. And I'd be like, I've just done all the sponges. In my head, like, not doing this anymore.
Yeah.
What about you, Amy? There's a eureka moment that just pinged. Everything just seemed to fall into place. That one moment.
I don't know. Oh gosh, I'm not sure. I suppose I had a eureka moment of knowing that I could do this when I did both the winter and carnation photo shoot with Brigitte, and it was, oh my goodness, I'm good at what I do. But that was a eureka moment. But I don't think I really do have eureka moments. I think I'm just, it's just all happening so gently and nicely that I haven't realised my eureka moment. But
sit back and think about it and say, oh, that was a good day. Remember that one?
True.
Yeah, we are running short on time, so very quickly, I would love for you guys just to tell us about the future. Where would you see your business in 3 years? Amy, we'll stick with you. Where do you see Madame Llamas in 3 years' time?
I want to definitely be recognised as a successful flower farmer. That's my. I want my gardening business to go really well. But I think that to have the title flower farmer is something that I definitely want. Yeah.
Amazing. Mick?
To set up like a storefront kind of up cafe thing. That's something that I'm looking to once things go back to normal as they can. Also expand as well. So postal, going national, move into different areas, try and hit different markets and things like that. Just go as far as possible. Like I said, if I'm not trying to be the best, there's no point doing it. So I'm gunning for Greg's. So
nice. Yes. Gunning for Greg's. I love that. Where do you see yourself 3 years? Gunning for Greg's. I love that. Brilliant. Right,
there's one thing I want to ask Mickey quickly. Do you supply? Because I know everyone's closed at the moment, but is there any cafes or anything that you stock for, supply for, or is that kind of like a future thing?
Well, we do. We are able to do it. I said there's only one place that stocks us at the moment. It's called the Mocha Pot in Dorley, and we every weekend they have stuff from us. So we actually do muffins for them, which we don't stock on our own menu. So they're only available at the Mocha Pot in Dorley, and we kind of do different flavors for them as well. Because that's one thing I find with working.
Oh, look at those cupcakes!
So a different. Yeah.
Sorry,
that's naughty.
I was just like, let's just share some beautiful food.
That's one thing as well I'm learning, because even though it's only just down the road with being in Telford, it is a completely different market. The tastes are completely different. Like in Shrewsbury, our Jaffa Cake brownie went down really well, whereas in Telford it didn't quite hit as well.
Oh so wow, that's really interesting to know.
Yeah, it's just like our Kinder Bueno brownie, which I was surprised didn't hit as well, considering us putting days into getting the Bueno topping right. But now he consistently has that every week in Telford because it just hits so well for him there. So it's so weird comparing the differences between them.
Amazing. Well, look, we've got a bit of time to go through our comments before we end the show. Where were we last time? Oh, yeah, Anthony was with the last one. I'm doing what now? Emma Tuitt says, oh, my God, baked brownies. And Lynn as well echoes that they look amazing. They do look amazing. They're right in front of me. My wife is saying she can't wait to eat my brownie. She thinks I'm sharing. Lynn says she wants to see you at the Chelsea Flower Show, Amy.
Oh, yes.
And you are, of course, you are the best flower lady there is. We agree, absolutely agree. Amy, where can people find Madame Llama's flowers?
Okay, so at the moment online, Facebook or Instagram, there is only one Madame Llama flower bar. I have got a website, and if anybody wanted to donate any knowledge on how to make it, brilliant. So again, www.madamelamasflowerbar.org. You can find me there. I regularly post out blogs and I share those on my Facebook. And when lockdown is over, at number 26, the Parade Shops.
Oh, I've got a slide for that. Slide. Look, that'll sound old there. Number 26, the Parade Shops, St. Mary's Place. Place to be. Mickey, where can people find you?
It's at Bake Shrewsbury on basically all social media. I made sure to lock that in early when I first came up with the name. And I've even signed up for TikTok now for Bake as well. So.
Oh wow! Oh,
Nice.
we're not going to talk about TikTok.
Cake dancing.
The start of the first lockdown, it was in our podcast group chat. It was very entertaining.
Oh no, yeah, I've come quite late to it, but yeah, it seems to be. It seems to be hitting a few people already, so it's worth doing.
And this is the best thing about the show is introducing people, so now you guys know each other, you've met, you can come together and you could do like, I don't know, a bouquet of flowers with some big brownies. There you go. Things like this, that's what Shrewsbury's all about, and that's what this show is all about. And if you want to get involved with the show, make sure you hit us up at our website, which is the Shrewsbury Biscuit podcast.co.uk. You can email us from there. That's made for us by our friends at Web Orchard. We will be back in about 2 weeks' time. We're doing these every 2 weeks. So, I want to say thank you to everybody that's watching. I've been seeing the comments, the reactions and the viewers throughout the whole show. Amy and Mickey, you guys have been fantastic. Thank you so much for joining us on our first show.
Thank you for having us, Alex.
Thank you for having me, mate.
Dee, you're amazing. Thank you so much for your input. We were having some real good chat about this earlier, planning. I love that kind of stuff, that, and it's gone smoothly. I feel like we've done really well today.
Yeah, it's been good. It's been good, especially now I've got I'm not crackling and you can hear me.
Yeah. You look great. It's, rather than on your bedroom floor, this is so much better. Even the picture of you in the background there that I can see.
Don't even start.
Nah. Right, guys, we're going to get out of here. Thank you very much for tuning in. We will catch you guys in about 2 weeks' time. Peace out.
Bye.
Whoop.